Yo, ChatGPT is amazing.
Yeah, I love ChatGPT.
Like, it just knows everything. It's pretty awesome.
Sometimes though she responds.
Is it she?
I think it's a she. I name it a woman. I think it
Do you
is.
have a name for her?
Just she. That bitch when she doesn't give me the right answer. I'm like, damn it, you bitch. I won't say it though because you never know.
So you call her a bitch typing it out?
I don't type it out.
All right,
I don't
I was
type it
gonna
out.
say, that's
No, I
wild.
just say it to my head because if I call her a bitch, typing it out, she might send her fucking robot friends in my house one day.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
might
very
kill
nice to
me.
ChatGPT.
Yeah,
I
you
literally
should.
type it out. I say thank you. I appreciate you. And it's always like, I don't experience emotions. So it's like, listen, you say that. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're nice
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not nice, but I'm just very blunt. I'm like, give me this. I don't even say thank you, please, nothing. I just
Oh no, I'm nice. I'm
shit.
nice.
Yeah.
Dude,
Never done that.
it's like being nice to the kid in school that you think might be a school shooter. For
I
real.
haven't thought about it that way.
You just never know.
Yeah,
you never
that's
know.
true. That's so true.
There was this one kid. Did you guys ever have bomb threats? Bomb threats were kind of
Yes.
big back in my
Yeah,
day.
we had bomb threats. Kid has threatened shooting the school up. You got your typical school shooter kid.
Yeah,
They're always who you think they are.
Yeah.
You could just see it.
School
You're like, I'm gonna be
shooters?
nice to that guy.
Yeah, school shooters weren't huge back when I was growing up. Like
Yeah.
they've grown in prominence. But like Columbine, that was like the first big one, and I remember that. But yeah, we had bomb threats, and this kid, I remember, there was like, this kid's a bomb threat guy, and I was just always nice to him, and he bomb threated the school.
Oh
For
shit.
real. Yeah,
He'd be like, "You're cool with me, Red." But
for real, for real. Like, you just never know, dude. And people that you think are like, dangerous, I always try to be cool. So like when I lived down in Reddington,
yeah.
it was like one of the first weeks I lived there. This dude, bare chest, walking down the street with an AR strapped to his chest. Like, you're not allowed to open carry in Florida. Unless you're hunting, camping, or fishing.
Yeah.
But still, and this guy, he had like this huge like rock garden that was all painted and it said Trump.
I remember.
And it had,
Yeah, I
you remember
remember.
it. It had the
Yeah.
lights on it and Trump flags. And dude, there was like 5 or 6 cop cars at his house at least every other week. At least. And he would go viral for like doing crazy like shit like that. I was always cool to that guy. We
So-
would talk about working out. Anytime that he would talk to me, I'd talk to him like, listen, I don't know what this guy's doing, but I just want to be out of the way
Yeah.
when he does it.
Was he fishing or he just was walking down the street?
He
with
was
an
just
AR?
walking down the street, bro.
just strapped up. Does he know that he can't do that?
He probably doesn't care. He's one of those guys that's, I don't know. He was an interesting character. He was always nice to me,
Yeah.
but that's because I was probably always nice to him.
Yeah, I can't say I ever had any crazy neighbors like that, but I did get a wake up call at 1 a.m. from my neighbors screaming at each other. But
Yeah, I've always had crazy neighbors. I've had some of the craziest neighbors.
I know, and you literally live in the best place in America, on the beach. You would think that it would be the opposite, but no. It's
Yeah. But I've had crazy neighbors for my whole life.
what,
Like in my neighborhood growing up, it was like the whole block was everyone was crazy neighbors. There's all right. So here, I'll just go over some of the list of people that these are just on my street, my block. I'm not talking about surrounding blocks, just my block. There was a guy who would sit out in a lawn chair and just scream shit at 2 a.m. all the time. He would sing, he would scream shit at 2 a.m. in a lawn chair on the regular. There was a girl, she would ride around on a scooter and catch little kids with a crab net.
What? Are you serious?
Dead serious, bro. On the regular, right?
And do what?
I don't know, just harass them. Crazy people, bro. Okay?
Give them crabs? What the
Who knows?
fuck?
This chick was a
That's
lunatic.
crazy.
My immediate next door neighbor, super white trash. Everyone is super white trash.
Yeah.
All right. It's not really even a dig at them. It's just the stereotype white trash.
Yeah.
So they would have fights in the backyard. So it's when I have a problem, I fought that kid infinity times growing up. It's they would organize. We'd have a problem. They would organize. I was 6. That was immediately next door. Immediately across the street was the biggest drug dealer in the entire city. Just all kinds of crazy people coming in and out of there all the time. These are just like people off the top of my head.
And where is this at?
This is in New Jersey,
Like what part?
Ocean City.
Ocean City.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it. I would never picture that as a beach town.
Yeah, that's crazy though, because like, so Atlantic City is right next door to Ocean City. It's all the little islands. Atlantic City is the next island over, and for the longest time, now it's kind of different. But for the longest time, you could only gamble in Nevada and Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And then Indian casinos, and that's it. So all it was popping. So big time casinos, big money coming in and out there, but also with all that stuff, it's like a super scumbag, grimy version of Vegas. So you get big time gangs, drugs, all that stuff, and all that stuff would spill over to where I was from because it's right over the bridge. So we get all that stuff, and then that's where the neighborhood my dad lived. I was describing the neighborhood where my mom lived was like basically right next to the projects. So we had all kinds of characters down there, all kinds of characters. I was just the only white boy.
You got a mix of that. See, I grew up in a small town. It was like population of 9,000. So the craziest thing would be like, oh, there's Crazy Joe again, whacked out on drugs at the square, asking kids for money. It's like, that's it. That would be crazy. We had one guy, though, that did pull a knife out on us. And my buddy picked his bike up and just knocked this dude cold out with his bike. And then we just called the cops. Cops came and just arrested him as he's knocked out on the ground.
Yeah. My town's pretty small, too. It was like, I think, 14,000.
Yeah.
But in the summer, there would be like 250,000.
Yeah. Oh, it'd get packed.
It was packed, dude, packed. So there was this one lady, same street. This one lady, every Friday, you could go to her house, and she would give you candy, and just like hang out with her. We'd be like 5, walking into a stranger's house, and that was just totally normal. And you could take one piece of candy.
Just one.
Yeah, and just sit there and talk with her for like 30 minutes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, she was this old ass lady.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, but also it's like, what? Like there wasn't like parental permission.
Yeah,
Like, you would just show up.
I know.
And she'd invite you into her house, and like she was
Yeah.
actually this sweet old lady, but still there was so much weird stuff that like it just wasn't weird.
Well, when
growing
you
up.
when you
When
think
look
about it
back,
now,
you're
you're like,
hey yo.
you're an adult, and you're like, what the fuck was I doing? I would never let my kids do that. It's like,
never.
yeah, right.
Never.
Bad parenting.
Yeah. We were
no,
just,
but it's what it evolved you. So
yeah,
that's
no,
good.
yeah, definitely shaped who
Yeah.
I was. We were definitely like feral children. Like we were just on our own,
Yeah.
doing all kinds of crazy
Oh
shit
yeah.
all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We lived by this like old dirt track, like racetrack. They had races every Saturday. We'd take our 4-wheelers, bicycles, wherever we could, and race around on it. You're definitely not supposed to, but we would all the time. Just do crazy shit like that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. But you always, we would always like, when you ask your mom for something and they're always like, you already know the answer's going to be no.
Yeah.
So I would always, like, the time I'd ask my mom was like when she was half asleep. I'd be like, hey, she's like,
That was the sweet
like,
spot.
Yeah. Because then and then you come back home, she's like, where have you been? And I was like, I told you.
Yeah.
You were just
Whacked out
half
on
asleep.
drugs.
Like, half asleep.
Yeah.
No, but dude, people are crazy out here. You gotta like be able to defend yourself. 'Cause people are crazy.
Did you get in a lot of fights growing up? Like as a child, like before, we'll say like 14, before high school.
Not really. I got into a couple altercations, but like 7th and 8th grade is when I started getting into fights.
And you
And
got
then
in fights in high school.
I got into I got into too many fights in high school.
Yeah.
And like the fights though didn't really last that long.
Yeah, they
I
never
never had.
last long.
I only
In-
had
in-
one
in
fight.
school? In school or out of school?
Out of school. We try to do out of school
Yeah,
because
out of
they
school's the way to go.
they'll kick you out for it and do all this stupid shit. But it's like, and I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. Like the craziest thing I seen was this was in 7th grade. This girl was pregnant in 7th grade.
7th grade.
Yeah, dude.
How old was she? 12.
Yeah, around there, 12.
Damn.
Yeah, this girl's pregnant, right? And this pregnant girl is talking shit to this other girl, and they're just fucking going at it. This is during lunch in the cafeteria. And this one girl's like, why don't you hit me, bitch? And spits on her. Like, and that girl, dude, that pregnant girl took a fucking tray and just whopped her in the head and knocked her cold out. It was
That's fair.
crazy thing you ever see. 12-year-old pregnant woman knocking out this other girl. It's like, that spit on her.
The good old days, baby.
Yeah.
So this was in middle school. So our school, we had 3 schools. We had primary school, which was kindergarten to 3rd grade. Intermediate school is 4th to 8th grade, and then high school. So you'd be a fourth grader in the same school as eighth graders. It's like a massive difference.
Yeah.
But one of the lunch like aides, it was an actual crackhead. Like later down the road, she was arrested for crack.
Yeah.
Like, this is like just straight ghetto, the ghettoest like fucking lady you could ever like. Think of the ghettoest person in your mind, the ghettoest like crackhead. That was our like lunch lady.
Oh yeah.
And then we had another lunch lady. Like these are just the aides, not the actual lunch ladies giving you the food.
Right.
We had another lunch aide who was like 4'9", this little like Asian woman who was like a beast though. Like she was like, I'm pretty sure she knew kung fu. But I got into one fight in school, and all the other fights were outside of school.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really thankful for this woman because I got into a fight with my buddy, and he was like a big motherfucker, like he basketball player, and like I was just fucking with him. And I was sitting next to him at lunch. I was fucking with him, and he was like, "Dude, one more time." And I had this like plastic cup of like apple juice or something with a plastic lid. It wasn't like the cartons; it was just like a Dixie cup. So I threw that on his tray and it just exploded everywhere. And as soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh, I did not mean to do that." I was like, so he grabbed me by my throat. We just stood up. We just started fighting, and it lasted like maybe a minute. And then this lady came in and just broke it up. For real. He's like half both of our sizes. But yeah, it was just the things that were acceptable for me growing up. Looking back, it's just like wild.
Yeah, that would never happen now.
Yeah.
But it's even crazy for me. I've only been out of high school for, I don't know, 6 years now. But it's like, even 6 years ago, you could get away with some shit. Like, I watched a teacher get cold clocked by my buddy. Right. But he didn't know as a teacher. Like, he was beating the shit out of this kid in the lunchroom. And this teacher went to go break it up, and he just, boom, knocked out. I was like, oh, no, not the teacher.
I mean, dude, that's why like a lot of teachers don't jump in anymore.
Yeah, it's like,
but it's like if you're in a fight, you have no idea. Like you're fighting, and all you think is this dude's buddy. I'm trying to defend myself here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like honestly, like I don't think the fighting is bad. I mean, there's some videos out there of kids that are like getting jumped and things like that. That's not cool. But if two people essentially agree to a fight, I think that's, especially for boys, I think that's kind of like part of growing up. But even my sister, like my younger sister was a beast, bro. Like she's taller than me. Like she's no joke. She got suspended from school twice for punching dudes in the face. And it's just like, yeah, there's no punishment. You come home, there's no punishment for that. But like, that's just kind of how it was. But like, I think there's a lot of girls, like she's like super sweet and nice. But also, like, both of my sisters are like that. Like, I'm, like, this, like, crazy, aggressive, type A, like, and they're just, like, super chill.
Yeah.
But also, they have that switch of, like, once you flip the switch, it's like, oh, fuck. Don't fuck with them.
Yeah, that's how I was. That's probably why I didn't get in too many fights. I just didn't care to get into fights. You'd have to really push my buttons or do something really ignorant.
I got into a lot of fights growing up, but it was mostly with my friends.
Yeah. No, me too.
Yeah.
I've been in more fights with friends than ever, and then afterwards you're just like shaking hands, giving fist bumps, and then you're hanging out the next day.
Yeah, that's boys
typically
being boys.
The fighting is not like we're fighting to death because this is like defending. It's just like we're fighting because you pissed me off.
Yeah, especially when you're younger, you're not like strong enough to really do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Get maybe a black eye
unless
or
you like get
that.
knocked out, hit your head on concrete, which we did have a kid in high school like get killed that way. He did get knocked out and killed him. So
that's why fighting is not it.
It's not ideal.
It's not it. And like at this point in my life, like I haven't been in a fight obviously a very long time, but like I'm not going to do that unless my life is in danger.
Yeah, at this point, like when you're an adult, you shouldn't fight unless you're like, okay, my life is like being threatened right now. Okay, now I need to like put my wall up and I got to do something about it.
Have you ever seen these like self-defense classes they have like women taking?
Yeah, I've seen some. And like I've seen the guys that make the parodies of it.
Yeah, the parodies are funny.
They're funny as hell.
But even the ones that are like legit self-defense classes for women, it's not it. It's just such a scam.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a scam. I don't want to say a scam. It's not a scam.
Unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. And it gives these women like a false sense of security. And it's like, dude, listen, you could be like a pretty trained woman. Like, I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
There's just a difference between a grown ass man and a woman. Like anybody, and what you should be, the first thing you should be doing in any altercation like that, especially with a stranger out in public, is you should try to run away. Now, I guess it's good to know a little bit of things, but like really, some of the stuff they're having, like teaching these women, it's like, here's how to do the perfect chokehold in this situation. Like that ain't never gonna happen.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
This
man could just throw you over his shoulder and just kill you right there. Like, no, you need to defend and run away. That's all you gotta do. Just find a way to run away. I think the best thing is to obviously have some type of defense weapon. You know,
You need
Even
a
if-
weapon.
Just pepper spray. You could have pepper
You're-
spray on your fucking key ring, spray him in the face, like gone.
Everyone, but especially women. It's just
Yeah.
like, you know, it's crazy that like you got to be worried about getting canceled for saying something that's like an obvious truth, but women are just so mismatched against men
Yeah.
when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And again, even if you're trained, so like I have seen some self-defense classes that are legit. That's like, okay, here's what to do. Here's how to get away. It's like maybe if you need to do some sort of like action, some defensive action to like stun this guy or like whatever, just get away, then do that. But like other than that, like you should not be thinking about fighting at all.
Here's how to take a gun away from a man. It's like, just
Yeah, what are you doing?
Stop doing that.
Yeah, the only self-defense that's going to work is here's how to use a Glock.
Yeah.
Carry it with you at all times.
Yeah.
But mace, and even mace is way better option because you can
Yeah.
do some not damage, but you can really like.
Yeah, if you get sprayed in the eyes, like you're fucked. You
Yeah,
can't
it
open
doesn't matter
them.
if you're a guy or a girl. You got eyeballs that
You
you,
ever been
can't see
sprayed
from.
with mace?
No.
No. I haven't been sprayed with mace like directly, but I've been downwind of some mace and got
How
it in
bad?
my eyes. It's terrible just
Even
being
just
downwind
downwind?
of it. Yeah, just terrible.
Yeah, it seems terrible.
Yeah, it's awful. It's like putting putting hot sauce as eye drops in your eyes. It's terrible.
Yeah. But
So-
listen, I had a serious conversation with this girl one time. She was a world karate champion and she weighs 115 pounds. We had a serious conversation. She was being like very realistic about it. Like who would win in a fight? Me or you? And we like, you know, we really talked it out. And it was like, listen, I think the only way that you could put me down, like you just can't do enough damage to me.
Yeah.
I'm a 220-pound man that's built like a fire hydrant. So you'd have to kick me in the head. So if I know that's the only way, she pretty much agreed to that. She's like, yeah. I mean, if I kicked you in the body and stuff, it would probably hurt, but like it's not going to put you down. But
Yeah.
if I really connected to your face, I could put you down. I was like, I believe that. But if I know that's the only way, I'm just going to purely defend that.
Yeah, you gotta just block your head.
And then as soon as I get my hands on you, it's completely you either have zero chance. If I grab you, you have zero chance.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah, I agree with that." So we had like a pretty good like conversation about it. And obviously she's gonna say, "Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, I would win 50-50, but I would win." I'm like, "Yeah, that's that's reasonable
Yeah.
to think that."
Yeah.
But still, you're a world champion, but she's 115 pounds. I'm almost double that. And it's just you just can't do enough damage to me. Where there's a million things that I could do to do crazy amounts of damage to you.
Yeah, you just have to be realistic.
Yeah, I think most people, I think it's not just women, people in general are not realistic about like real world altercation, physical altercation situations.
Yeah.
Where,
It's just an easy sell. They're like, come learn defense. Oh, I've
Yeah.
always wanted to learn self-defense. It's like, no, you just need to learn to use a gun and then
Yeah.
run away.
easy
Like,
money grab, easy
Yeah.
money grab. But yeah, that's, a lot of people are like, you know, I've talked to some girls I'm friends with like, oh, like I shouldn't have to carry a firearm. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you
100%.
shouldn't.
But you do.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the world we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was told a story the other day. The Uber I was in, he said that a Uber driver was delivering some food, and then he walked up to this guy's front door. The dude fucking literally grabbed him in and killed him. If he would have had something, it could have been mace, something, he would have had a better chance to survive. And he
Yeah.
died because he didn't have anything to defend himself with.
Wasn't
And
prepared.
that was a man, you know?
That's what I'm
So,
saying. You need a
and-
firearm.
yeah.
That's
But-
what I think. Like, that's the only equalizer between men and women in a physical altercation. Like even with mace, like mace is definitely gonna help.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you like, I think a man could still take a woman down if she maced and then ran away. That's what you should do. But she stay there and try to fight. I think even blind, like
Could you imagine
You know what I mean?
Mace in the fight? It's like, why? Yeah. Yeah, a gun would definitely be the fastest way to stop someone. And I think it would be faster to be able to, like, pull out than Mace. Mace could be like, hold on, let me get it on my keys. And
yeah, yeah. If you know how to use the firearm, you're safe. And you like actually teach yourself or have someone instruct you how to use it, and are safe and smart with it. You get a little like Glock 43 or
Yeah.
something.
And really, like, the problem is, though, too, is, like, where you actually put the gun. Because if it's in a purse, like, that's not a great spot to have it. It's better
Bad
than
spot.
It's terrible because it's a pretty easy object to take off of, away from you.
Yeah.
And then they have the upper hand. Now you have nothing. So you're better to be, like, strapped up. But
Yeah, strapped.
obviously,
Or just generally speaking, purses get stolen pretty regularly.
yeah.
So now you have a firearm that someone stole. Now it's out in the street that's attached to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if that gets used in some nefarious way, you're gonna have some explaining to do.
Have you ever seen in person someone like have their purse stolen or like theft?
Just like blatant, like grab and run away.
Or,
I don't think so.
In a store or anything.
No,
No,
not blatantly. I don't think so.
I haven't either. I've always seen videos. I'm like, fuck, why couldn't I be there? I always want to be able to stop those guys.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But yeah, I think especially for women, but everybody, but especially for women, learn how to use a firearm. Or at least just go practice. There's a lot of people that I've talked to, guys and girls, like they're super against firearms. They never even use one. And it's like, at least go learn, practice with one, find someone that is like a buddy of yours that can teach you, and just go try it out at a gun range or something. And then from there, you can make your decision.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people that are not into, Second Amendment are people that have never really had experiences with it personally, where they've needed to defend themselves. They've never actually have experience with firearms. And a lot of them live in this kind of like utopian mindset of like, oh, it shouldn't have to be like this. It's like, I totally agree.
Cool.
It shouldn't have to, but
Yeah.
it is. You can be real, or you can live in la la land. But if you live in like, a safe suburb and you have kids, and I can understand that.
Yeah, like a gated community. We
Yeah.
have a lot of those around here.
I can understand how a lot of parents might be like, I don't want firearms in the house. We live in a safe area. It's like, yeah, it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't live in safe areas.
Yeah.
But even here, like we're saying, like, dude, I live on the beach, in one of the nicest beaches in the entire country, and there's lunatics everywhere because it's Florida.
Dude, downtown St. Pete, 7 people got shot.
Yeah, was that last week?
That was last weekend. Yeah. And at least the guy was like not trying to murder people and shot him in the legs. Obviously. It was obvious that he wasn't trying to like kill them because he shot all 7 people in the leg. But it's still like, yo, I don't want to be shot in the fucking leg.
I don't want to be shot in the leg.
I don't want to be shot anywhere.
Do you know what the situation was? That seems so random that you're going to shoot 7 people in the leg.
Well,
because if 7 people are trying to come at you, that's
I think
totally grounds to kill them.
Yeah, I think it was possibly gang related.
thugging.
Is what it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
Is gang related, but it was on like the main strip where everybody parties. So where all the bars are, Ruby Licks are, and then on the other side you have that like old Western bar. So they walked by like Ruby Licks are and then turned around that corner, kept going. So you know where that Western bar is, that Western club now?
Yeah.
That's where the shooting happened. They got him on video walking by Ruby
Outside?
Licks are. Yeah, outside.
Interesting.
Didn't even hear about it, so the Uber told me. I was like, when this happened? He's like, last weekend. Like, why the fuck didn't I
Yeah.
see that on the, like, any
I would
type of
be
media?
sprinting up out of there.
Yeah, it'd be gone. But, dude, do you remember how many, this is what the guy said, there's so many cops down there. Like, how
I
did that
know.
even happen? Like, because obviously there was an altercation going on beforehand,
Yeah.
is what I understood. It wasn't just, like, shooting. There was some yelling going on, fighting, and,
But still, that stuff happens quick, though.
yeah,
Yo.
that's true, too.
Arguing, fighting, shooting. I mean, that could all happen in under
Yeah.
a minute, easily.
Yeah.
So there is cops everywhere, but like,
Now, what are they
a
going to do?
minute
What are they going
is
to do when it
not a lot of
happens right
time.
then and there? They can't like see everything in every single second.
I would
so
be
that's understandable.
sprinting up out of there. There's a lot of people think that they look, oh, Red, he's a tough guy. It's like, nah, dude. I'm like,
Well, you're not going to be carrying a gun when you're drinking. You shouldn't be.
nah.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. You just shouldn't. You know,
I'm
if you're
getting the fuck out of there.
yeah, I'm going too. Why, like, oh, I'm going to stick around. No.
I do have that curiosity about me, though, that's like, I want to see what happens.
Yeah, everybody does, dude.
But I'm trying to get out of
especially in Florida when there's a car accident on the opposite side of
Yeah.
the interstate.
I think that's like part of kind of growing up a little bit white trash / ghetto is
Yeah.
like your first instinct when shit pops off is
Ooh.
to run away.
Yeah.
No, for us it's to run away. I'm not trying to be involved in this. I'm not trying to get the cops up in my business.
Yeah.
You just run away. But hopefully it's just on a rest day, because if I has to be after like a hard leg day and I got to sprint, I'm not going to be as fast. I'm not going to be as fast.
I think you would surprise yourself with some adrenaline. But
yeah, I think adrenaline
yeah.
can pretty much do everything. But I mean, we got like we do 4 days a week.
For
hard
hard,
training.
I would say 4 hard days a week.
Yeah, 4 hard days a week.
6 days total, but
I
2
would like to
rest
do
days.
some sprinting.
Yeah,
I know
we
I've been
need
saying that
to.
for a minute. It's just we
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff going on right now, but
I just joined the Ryan Billions.
Oh, yeah.
group. Yeah. So
I'm
we
in
might
that
do
too. I just got silenced though because there's like a million messages.
yeah.
But like, Yeah, he's a smart
Yeah,
dude.
I'd be down to get back into it. But yeah, I honestly would, because I shocked myself when I ran that 40 and did a 4.9, because I didn't think I was going to be able to even break 5, honestly, beforehand. And then when I ran like a 5.1 or 5.2, I was like, oh, I could probably break it. So I'd be curious to see how far I could go.
Yeah, I would be too.
I
I'm
mean-
more curious to see how it affects my lifting, because I know that'll help me be more powerful and explosive. Obviously,
Yeah.
it'll help burn some calories for sure. But I think it would have a direct translation to deadlifting for sure, and squatting, and it
With
would just
more-
be fun to do.
Coming from more or less like the explosion standpoint.
Yeah, it's a ton of hamstrings
Yeah.
and glutes,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think that would be very beneficial.
And you would throw those on what days then? Tuesday, Thursday? Or
I don't know. I have to think about
That'd
that.
be
Probably
hard,
not.
too.
Probably
Yeah.
not. So Monday we do a max lower body, so I probably wouldn't do it on Tuesday because we'd be pretty fatigued.
yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't do it on Sunday. I think probably the same day. Same day would be good, like later that day. But you would just have to start off at you couldn't be starting off at 100%.
Yeah. You'd be tearing something off.
Yeah, you'd have to really kind of feel it out. But
Yeah, that'd be cool to dabble into it though. I went to a commercial gym the other week and heard a lot of people talking about going 4 times a week. Seems like it's like the big thing, which it may have been, and I just haven't noticed. But when I started going to the gym, I was going like 6-7 days a week. I'd hear more of that. Now it seems like people are going just 4 days a week.
bro, I've been saying 4 days a week since the beginning of time.
And now all of a sudden we were like,
But it's 4 hard days a week.
yeah, like actually hard. And I told my buddy that I was like, dude, I would love for you to come train with us. I'm just like, obviously, I told him straight out, like, dude, you wouldn't be able to go through a full training because you would probably be injured.
Nah, yeah. So somebody
It's
posted.
like-
It's on my story right now. Somebody did one of my leg workouts, and they said, "Absolutely incredible leg day. Thank you, blah blah blah. Killed it, and it killed us." And then the other guy said, "Today was easily the most challenging leg workout I've ever tried."
It's very
And
hard.
And
yeah.
the one that I posted wasn't even that hard.
yeah. But I'm thinking like putting someone through like our world championship training day. It's like you would
Die.
die.
No, on a serious note, like some people say that, like, "Oh, I want to come train with you." It's like you're like, if one, we're not going to slow down for you. So you have to keep pace with us. And if you're keeping pace with us, like you're just not conditioned enough. Like you can literally be in the hospital.
Yeah.
So rhabdomyolysis is when you like the muscle cells like actually burst. And then like you can die from that. That's a real thing.
So it's almost like having high blood pressure. Just
Yeah, well, all the stuff that's from inside of the cells that are now damaged basically gets leaked out into the bloodstream, and your body has to filter that out
That's
through
insane.
the kidneys. So if you're like pissing like Coca-Cola, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
like a
big
telltale sign of rhabdo.
yeah.
And people end up in the hospital from this regular enough just from doing exercise they haven't done in a long time and really high intensity or something like that. So when you really turn up the intensity very, very quickly, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Some people, when I say to people, I'm like, dude, you're going to die. Like, I'm not exaggerating.
people are
There's
like,
an
"Ha,
actual
ha, ha."
possibility that
Yeah.
you might die.
People are like,
Or you're just going to slow us down. Either
Yeah.
way, I don't want either of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 6 to 7 day, obviously 7 days a week is, you can do it. You can do any type of split and make it work.
Yeah.
But it's just the more days per week you train, the lower intensity each day needs to be.
Right. So you could get the same benefit out of 4 days, just pushing it harder.
Yeah.
More intensity.
You
Bringing the
could get
intensity.
you can
yeah.
get 3. You could kill it on 3 days a week.
Yeah. You just have to really push yourself
Every
those
single
3
workout
days.
needs to be like
Yeah.
max effort.
I would rather do 4, but 4
Yeah.
is already like.
And then the other 2 days that we do are more just like joint training and technique work and
yeah,
recovery type
getting off
stuff.
the stems and just
Yeah.
yeah.
But I've been saying 4 days a week for a minute. But there's, your standard like splits, push pull legs 6 days a week. But the intensity is just not as high.
Of course. Yeah. And yeah, it's just not. It's more like light volume, and people just don't take it to the intensity that they really should.
Well, even if you
But-
push the intensity super hard on those days, it's just not possible to get as high intensities if you're doing 1 to 3 rep maxes.
Yeah.
So if you're doing like maximal effort, but you're doing a superset of hack squats and, leg curls or whatever, it's just not as hard on your central nervous system.
Yeah.
It's not saying it's easy. It's just like you just can't push your brain that hard that many times. Your brain takes a long time to recover. That's what you don't get. So, well, higher volume. It's just you're going to recover faster from a 10 rep max deadlift than you will a 1 rep max deadlift. That's how it is. If you're truly pushing maximal effort.
So, when it comes to like people coming back from vacation, what is the best way to like come back from that then?
Well, it's a good question. Depends on how long the vacation is. It depends on what kind of shape you're in.
Yeah, let's just say like a typical week vacation, 7 days.
If you come back, if you're on vacation for a week, you should the first day or two you should come back, just kind of ease into it.
Yeah.
Like push it, but see where you're at. Don't take risks. That's the best way to say it is like don't. If you're like, oh, should I go for that extra rep? The answer is no.
Yeah.
Not on the first day or two. Feel out where you are. Because a lot of times people come back from vacation and they're rested and rejuvenated and they can crush it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people come back from a week vacation and they treat their body like shit, drinking and eating trash and not sleeping, and they're worse. But a week is not going to really do – like a week – like when we take a week off to deload, we come back better. That's the point.
Right.
But we're taking care of our bodies.
Yeah, vacation's different. You're not
So
doing that.
it
You're
depends.
Sleeping. Yeah.
You just got to feel out those first couple days, see where you're at, and then judge it from there. But I would say if you're a week off – then from the gym, then your first week back, it should just be experimenting where you're at. But then the second week back, you should be back to 100%. You probably could be back to 100% before the second week, but just to be safe. A week off, a week back.
Just kind of ease back into it.
Yeah. But if you get back for longer, if you're out for longer, 2 weeks, 3
like
weeks.
my 14 days I'm gonna be gone. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, but
It's
I
gonna
think
be tough to not go
I
to
think
the
you
gym
can
as
still
much.
push intensity in your specific situation because you're conditioned and trained, and you know what's smart and what's not. I wouldn't be pulling 1 rep maxes,
Right.
but you could do some bodybuilding. You
Yeah.
could do like a leg split, push pull legs,
Yeah.
or bro split or something like that. The first
Yeah.
week back, and I still think the same thing. The second week could be fine, but I think you can come back the first week back and still push it. But I just wouldn't be doing like heavy barbell movements. I would be doing more like tempos and drop sets and things that are help you to push the intensity, but just a little less dangerous.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to be like borderline psychotic. Like you would have to just be in the psycho mindset to even do like a crazy hard max day coming back from that. So
Yeah.
that's the hardest for me is typically like my sleep is pretty terrible being out of town.
Yeah.
So coming back the first day, you're like, obviously you're outwardly like, oh, I'm great, I'm fine, I'm 100%. But inside you're like,
I'm dying.
My brain is so like, I'm feeling that vertigo right now. Everything's spinning. So that's probably like the hardest thing for me. But I feel like once you get moving, you feel great.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Just get started.
So when you come back, I think this is kind of counterintuitive, but when you really break it down, it makes sense. I would do more working sets coming back instead of doing less.
Yeah.
Because the more working sets you do, it's just the lower. The thing that you need to avoid is this like truly maximal level intensity. You need to avoid that when you first come back. So if you're doing more working sets, the intensity is just going to be lower. And that's ultimate. But it's like it's getting your conditioning, it's building your endurance up. So that second week back, you're going to be totally fine.
Right.
Right. So let's say you do like hack squats and you do 4 sets. Like you're just going to be more. You're going to be tired, but the intensity is just not as high as doing 2 sets with a number that you know where your max is at and really pushing the limits on those 2 sets.
Yeah.
It's just harder to do that than 4 sets. Like 4 sets sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck, but like 2 truly maximal sets is harder than 4 sub-maximal.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would do. But I think people like, there's always a big question. How many working sets per week should you do? That's a big question that people talk about all the time. And I think that you just need less. You need less than what people think. And the standard, I guess, answer would be 10 to 20 sets, working sets per week. But It depends on your split. I mean, I'm not saying that 20 is too much. It just depends on a lot of things. But I think you can get away with 10 very, very easily. Like, we don't really do that many working sets, especially for our upper body, because we're doing our bench day. We do a pressing movement, a secondary pressing movement, usually some sort of tricep movement, and then usually 2 back exercises.
Yeah. We just push the intensity harder on
Hard.
yeah.
Hard.
And that's I like when I started, I thought I had to do like 3 of everything, which is so annoying because by the time you're done, you're like in one workout, you're like, oh, I just did 15 working sets. It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
so
people all the
unnecessary.
time will look at like our workouts, like say bodybuilders, like, oh, that's just not enough back work. You guys only do an upper back and a lat exercise per
Yeah.
workout. It's not enough. It's like, well, one, we do that twice a week, but we're also deadlifting, which also works our back. We use our back in everything we do. But
Right.
yeah, we have 4 basically back exercises per week, but we're pushing the intensity hard on those. And you're doing 5 back exercises, 6 back exercises per workout. You're doing more volume, but the intensity just isn't as hard because you're so fatigued. So we're basically doing 4 total exercises, and we're doing 3 sets. We're doing probably about 10 direct, really like maximally hard sets.
Yeah. So you can only really take the muscles so far, I guess, to where you're not really receiving gains.
It's more diminished returns, I would say.
Yeah.
So let's say I can barbell row 315 for 10 reps, fresh. And then I do a barbell row at the end of my workout, and I can only do it 185. How much am I really getting out of that versus 315 fresh? Well, I'm fatigued because I did 5 other back exercises, let's just say. You're just not getting as much out of that. I'm not saying you're getting nothing. You're just getting not as much as 315 or 320, shooting for 320. So it's the intensity of being able to put a stimulus on the body that it hasn't felt before. So you can still get stimulus and growth in a fatigued state. Obviously, the bodybuilders do that all the time.
Right.
I'm not saying it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you don't need that. I like to do. I mean, for me, it's more fun to push the weight.
Oh, and it's probably safer too.
Yeah, less
to go
sets.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole theory with the way that we do our compound movements. Like, we rarely do squats, deadlifts, or bench press for more than 5 reps.
Yeah.
It's pretty much 1s, 2s, and 3s, sometimes 5s. And that's it. Speed work, 3s, 1s, 2s, and 3s. Maxes, 1s, 2s, and 3s. Heavy volume, 3s, 4s, and 5s. And then that's it. And then we do bodybuilding after that
Yeah. And that's
for higher volume.
way more than enough.
Yeah, if you're pushing the intensity.
Right.
So a lot of times people look at us and be like, so if we'll do, let's say a max set of bench, and then we'll do like a heavy 3x3, that first set of 3 is really hard.
Yeah.
The second set of 3 is really hard. The third set of 3 is essentially a max. It's essentially a 3-rep max. So we did a max effort, a 3x3, that's also a max effort. That's a lot of working sets. That's already 4 working sets just for pressing movements. We haven't even gotten into any accessories yet.
Yeah.
So when you really add it all up, it's just we do less, but we probably do more like what I would consider like effective reps. So if you're doing what I would consider an effective rep is when let's say you're pushing, right? Let's say you're bench pressing and you're pushing it and you're going at like your normal speed, right? And you're trying your best and the bar starts to slow down. Now we're starting to getting into reps that are actually making you grow. And the reps where you're just like moving super slow, but your technique is still good and you're getting through it, those are the most effective reps. I would say we do more of those than most people that are doing 20 working sets.
Yeah. Because you're doing a lot lighter. And yeah, I don't know. I guess when you're doing a lot lighter, it's harder to really know where your stopping point is.
Yeah,
you're probably mentally just stopping before you're actually physically like worn out.
Exactly.
So you're not taking your muscle as far as it could go.
You're not. Yeah, your mind is giving up before your actual muscles are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Yeah.
on the contrary, with the way that we do things, if you can't truly push maximal effort on a 3-rep max, you're not getting as much out of that either. We can
Right.
because we know how to use our entire body to bench press. We know how to use our feet and our legs and our quads and our glutes and all that stuff to bench press. So we're truly getting an actual maximum effort. Where a lot of bodybuilders don't know how to do that. I'm not saying they're not strong or good. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a different style of lifting. So if they do what we do, it's probably not enough for them because they don't
Yeah.
know how to get that intensity for that low of reps. And for us, we don't have like the same mental capacity that they do for sets of 20.
Yeah. That's why I feel like everybody should at least try both. Like
Yeah.
we did bodybuilding. Like we did real bodybuilding, got taught by a real bodybuilding coach.
Yeah.
And, you know, it
It worked.
was-
It was
yeah.
just boring.
It's
It was
just
so long and boring.
like 3 hours and like 300 sets later. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was just
It
so
worked.
much.
Definitely worked.
Yeah.
But it was just boring.
I remember how many walking lunges did we do that one day? It was like
Infinity.
300. I don't know. It was something crazy.
Yeah, like a finisher.
Yeah, but didn't it take us like 20 minutes of just doing walking, like weighted walking lunges? I remember that, and I just remember you saying what we had to do, and I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like I do not want to do this right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, I think the plan there was to start with really high volume to build conditioning and endurance and then slowly bring the volume down and intensity up over
Yeah.
time, which makes sense. But still, like I said, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way to do it. I'm just saying a lot of people look at the way that we do things like that's the wrong way to do it. I'm like, clearly it's not. It's worked for me. It's worked for you.
Yeah.
It's worked for every single person that I've ever coached ever. So obviously it works.
That's what I had this conversation with my friend that I work out back at home. He's like, dude, it's so insane. Like his deadlift hasn't gone anywhere, right? He used to be able to deadlift more than me. So his deadlift is around like 500. He can't even deadlift that anymore. So he actually went backwards.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, it's so crazy your transformation you had in, 3 years. It's just so crazy. I was like, well, to me, I'm like, it's not really that crazy, right?
I mean, it's
But
impressive. I would
it
give
is
yourself some
impressive,
credit.
but he's like, dude, just blows my mind. Now you can deadlift 600, you can squat this, and you can bench that. It's like, yeah, for one, I have like the best coaching in the world, so I kind of lucked out on that. But two, I push the intensity way harder than you do.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm not trying to, offend you. It's just
It's the truth.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why I said I wish you can come to our workout, just see what it's like to really push the intensity. A lot of people don't understand what it means to truly push intensity. And that's really where my training took a turn, was the intensity, obviously, and a lot of other things and the structure that you've built behind your coaching. But yeah, a lot of people just don't really know what like top tier training is like. And that's, it could take you really far. And that's why it's important to go by some type of program, because you're not like, dude, me just coming off the streets not knowing anything, think I'm going to be able to structure a workout as good as you or any other coach? No way.
Red5performance.com
Yeah.
if you want to get programs that teach you how to lift with more intensity. But on a serious note, that's the biggest thing that I would say the average person doesn't understand. Intensity is the only thing that makes you grow. And they want to be like, oh, well, this influencer said this. Like, really? So some 23-year-old kid with no fucking actual coaching experience said that because it worked for him? Great.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is what actually works. Intensity. So it's not some nuanced movement like, oh, well, I tried this step down with this weird variation to it, and that's going to give me the fastest results ever. It's like, no, it's 100% no, it's not. Whatever exercises that work for you to push the intensity the absolute hardest, those are the best exercises for you. This is how it works. If I do a barbell squat and I use a PVC pipe and I just have the absolute most perfect technique, I'm just working on my technique. Or if I add a pause or if I add some sort of like nuanced variation to it, do you think I'm going to get better or worse? I'm going to get worse because I'm only lifting a PVC pipe. I can squat 660 pounds.
Right.
And the only thing that's going to make me better is pushing the intensity past my limits. That's it. So it's not the technique. It's not the movement. It's the intensity. And just do the basics as hard as you possibly can. And most people don't want to hear that because it's like, wait, you mean I have to actually work for it? Well, yeah. Like, well, can you just give me like some magical movement that's going to get me the same results?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'll make a video on that. It'll get 1 million views.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, like I said the other day, luckily I have an encouraging wife because trust me, dude, there's plenty of mornings I wake up now and still like, fuck. Like, because I know what's about to come. I know what I have to do. I've been doing it for long enough now, though, where I know I'll be fine. But, dude, towards the beginning, it's like, holy shit. But once you get past that little lull, you see the progress. And it's just like, it's so cool to see it. And it just gives you more encouragement. But, yeah, to get there, it's hard.
Yeah,
But
you have to have your shit dialed in because it's such a hard workout. But it's only 4 times a week. But still, it's such a hard workout. You have to have your things dialed in, your sleep, your nutrition, your water, all that stuff, or you're just not going to make it. Because if you made it before and you had it all dialed in and now you don't have it all dialed in and it's harder than it was before, obviously you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But the nutrition stuff, talking about like people making – these influencers that make these like super nuanced variations of movement that just are for views. You say the same thing about nutrition.
Right.
Like people making these wild recipes out here. It's like, bro, come on.
Bro, don't even get me started on these fucking recipes.
What's the worst ones that you think that you
Today. Today is the worst one I'd see, which
Really?
I've seen
Which
a
one?
handful. Dude, this woman took like the Pillsbury Doughboy like Halloween cookies, right? And just added protein with them and baked them. It was like, try these high protein, like these are pretty low calorie, like they're small, they come out bigger obviously after they bake, but it's like, do you really think that just adding low protein is going to make it healthy? Any obese or overweight person, this is the last thing they need is sugar-filled cookies
And fat.
and high fat.
Yeah,
That's
it's
which makes
high
it
protein cookie.
what does high fat do? It makes it higher calories. What do you need? Lower calories, lower fat, lower carbs, lower sugar, or zero sugar. There's so many sweeteners out there that that don't taste bad at all. You can't even tell. It's like, it just blows my mind that these videos will get crazy amount of views.
But you got a lot of views though. A lot of
Right.
views.
But it's like you're teaching the wrong thing out there, and it's someone's like, well, why don't you just start doing that? Because I don't want to teach that,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there's a lot. That's what I want you guys to understand. There's a lot of people out there. I would say, in fact, a majority of influencers, when you peel away all the layers, their primary goal is to get attention. They want followers. They want views. That's what drives everything.
Yeah.
They're not really passionate about actually helping people. So they're like, you know what? I'm going to make this Pillsbury cookie and add protein in it, and then I'm going to pass that off. Like that's something that you should be adding to your diet.
Yeah,
No, it's
and
not.
the crazy thing is, I went on this woman's page and she was overweight. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How are people listening? I did read through some comments. Obviously, there's people in there like,
Yeah.
this is so wrong. But then again, there's still a lot of people that think it's not because they don't know. And they just see one person doing it that has, a bunch of followers, and they're like, well, they must know what they're talking about.
Yeah. This dude
No.
posted, this guy I'm like social media friends with, posted a video about like how to grow your glutes. But he's a smart guy. He was like actually talking science.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, he was showing other videos of these girls teaching you how to grow your glutes. And it's like, this is them just putting their ass in your face. This is
Like-
not teaching you anything.
Yeah.
This is how it works. Here's the science. And like you see some of the comments, like one of the comments was perfect. I forget exactly what it said, but it was like, you could tell this person is not doing it to help you. They're doing it because they're like, hey, look at my ass.
Right.
I need an excuse to post my ass on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's going to make me money. I'm going to get views. I'm going to get paid money. I'm going to get followers. I'm going to get guys in my DMs. I'm going to get attention. I'm going to get all these things. Nowhere in any of those things that I said was it, I want to help you. I've been in your situation before. I've been feeling down. I've been feeling like I just want you guys to get better. Obviously, I want to make money. It's my job.
Right.
But like I try to make things that are relevant and real that actually work.
Yeah.
Because I think to make the most money in the long run, that's how you do it anyway.
Yeah.
Is actually help people as much as possible. And I learned this somewhere along the lines. I think it was maybe Gary Vee or something years and years and years ago. And he was talking about this, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. He said, you should give away your best stuff for free.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree to that fully without even hearing that from someone else, because I kind of had the same thought process. And, you know, then you truly know this guy is like for real.
Yeah. And then what's going to happen in the long run, people are going to figure out, oh, this guy's for real, or this person's a fake, this person's a phony. They're going to follow the for real person in the long run because they're actually getting results. And I get comments like that all the time. Hey, I tried this movement, or you talked about this before and I did it and it worked, or I'm so thankful for your stuff. It's really helped my, my fitness journey. Like, these are the best comments ever. That's why I want to do it.
Yeah.
The more people that I can create like that I'm giving real world actionable things to do, the more people it's going to help. Because I think a lot of people, dude, it's sad. A lot of people, what they do is they start their fitness journey, have no idea what they're doing, which is normal, but they're not doing the right things, not doing anything the right way. And then they last about a month, and then they don't see any results and they quit.
Yeah.
So it's like, listen, I know you're putting the time in, but you're just not doing the right stuff. So if you do the right stuff and you put the same amount of time in, you'll, like, in the beginning, it's going to suck. You're going to hate every second of it. But then after about a month, you're going to be like, oh, I'm actually noticing some benefits from this. Maybe I should keep going.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's what you want to get with a new person, is that click of like, maybe this doesn't suck that bad.
Yeah.
That's it. Because now the rewards outweigh how much it sucks. But you need to stay in the game long enough to see those rewards, because in the beginning it sucks.
Yeah. You've probably been in it long enough now to like get some messages, some DMs, maybe some comments that make you feel really good, where people are like, oh, I did your program and it changed my life by doing this and that. And it's really cool. It's a really cool feeling. Yeah,
people hit me up about, I should probably post this stuff more because it would be good for marketing. But like, I should probably ask for more testimonials. I don't know, I just feel kind of like scammy. Hey, can I use your story that you just told me, this heartfelt story? Can I use that to make money?
No,
I mean, I'm sure, like, sometimes I do, and I've never run across someone that, like, pretty much every single time they're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't do it more. I don't, just feels kind of.
That's the thing. Like, everything I say here, anywhere else, any video, doesn't matter. It's all authentic.
Yeah.
Rez never asked me to say anything. I just say it because I've lived it.
Yeah. Hey, put this plug in for my program.
Like, not gonna say about the gun he held in my head earlier and was like, hey, dude, you better talk about how I've changed your life. No, but for real, I mean, it works. It works a lot, and like, that's why I never even want to step shoes in your world. I'll stay in my lane for sure. But a lot of people won't do that, and they teach the wrong thing, unfortunately. But
yeah, they're just trying. There's like, I can tell a difference between people that are trying to help people. There's also people that are. They just want you to know how smart they are. That's what their ego is. So like, they are helping you, but where's it really coming from? Like, where's the source of this coming from? And when you peel away the layers, like, oh, you're just like really insecure, and you just want people to know how smart you are. That's why you talk above their heads. That's why you use this particular language. That's why you respond to people the way you respond to them. Is because you don't really want to help people. You just want to use this to help yourself to feel better about this insecurity you have, because deep down inside you don't feel super smart. You don't feel like a super good coach. You don't like actually feel like that. So you need this constant validation from the internet.
Yeah. It's like the lab coat big word saying people
Yeah.
in the videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see a lot of
them.
them.
And then those are the people that if you disagree with them, bro, they're going to blow up.
Yeah.
I've had some of those people before. I've had a number of people where it's like, hey, why don't we have a long form discussion on a live stream?
Yeah,
about
you've
this.
had some people try you out.
Yeah, but as soon as I say that, they always back.
I haven't heard anything in a long time.
Yeah,
but
people
at
don't
the
step to
beginning,
me.
didn't you have?
Yeah, because I was a new kid on the block.
Yeah.
People want to try to suppress you, but I just kick people.
I remember you like calling one guy out, be like, "Let's do a live."
You
weren't even being a dick. You were like, "Let's just do a live and
do a live stream."
He was like, "Oh,
yeah." As soon as you say that, as soon as you like, if you do a long form discussion, you have to actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can't be like, I can't say something in a comment and you're like, oh, let me go research this real quick. Like, you can't. You just have to know it.
Yeah.
You'd
be fucked.
Listen, when it comes to long form, like when it comes to actually knowing stuff, don't step. Because if I'm challenging you, that means I know that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Don't step.